All right, everybody, episode 53. As you can see, Brock is not to the right of me. It's Ryan Gaddy, who is our guest picker of the
Yeah,
week. Welcome, Ryan.
thank you.
Brock has something going on right now, and this weekend I'm going to Knoxville, Tennessee. And this really is the only time we could film. We got to get something out, man, and under any circumstances, this is what you're going to get. Anything you want to say before we get started?
Not really. Just Team USA is going to win the Ryder Cup, and I know we're not talking about that. That's all I really have to add.
Yeah, no, we got a stacked week of college football here. Starting us off, Florida State versus Virginia. Ryan Gaddy, who you going with?
I'm going to have to go with the Noles. I know Virginia does have a good offense, but not really any defense, and Tommy Castellanos is still holding on to the Alabama win, so I think they're just going to take over and win the game in the second half.
Yeah, also I forgot to mention that I'm going to be reading Brock's picks. He sent me his picks. And then obviously we'll have the Instagram graphic. I'm also rolling with Florida State in this game. They're really solid. Shout out Brock. He was on Florida State before the season when everybody thought they were going to be bad.
Yeah.
Brock somehow predicted they were going to be good. One of the few things Brock does right. I'm just kidding, Brock. Miss you here, bud. But Virginia's very okay. I mean, you kind of summed it up perfectly. Their running back, however, is very solid. I remember watching the NC State game. I don't really remember his name. His name's Jamari Taylor. Um, I remember they were saying he came from like a FCS school or like a D2 school,
Yeah.
and then he made his way up to D1 and he balled out against NC State.
Yeah.
But Florida State is really good this year. I'm a believer. So give me the Noles. Moving on, we have sorry, yeah, sorry, forgot Brock's pick. Brock also has Florida State, so we're all there with the Noles on that one.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have TCU versus Arizona State. TCU, a team that's kind of surprised some people so far.
Yeah, I think I'm really getting remembrance of their like 2022 team when
Hmm.
they beat Michigan and then lost to Georgia.
Shout out Quentin Johnston, baby.
But I think they have a better offense in that year. Which I mean, they don't have Max Duggan, but I like how their receivers are playing. They're
Mhm.
always open. It seems they just scored 40 something points. I forgot who it was against, and I was watching the game and I was like, I think these guys really have a chance to take it. And on the other hand, ASU has looked horrible. They're just not
Yeah,
looking good every week. They got knocked out of the top 13 right away after losing to Mississippi State, who I didn't think was going to be very
a
good.
team will pick
So,
later, or will
right.
a game will pick later.
And so I think I have to go with TCU on this one. Go Horned Frogs.
Yeah, no, I like it. Brock's also got TCU. I also have the Horned Frogs. So far, we're all similar. Josh Hoover, the quarterback for TCU, is really solid. He leads the nation in yards per game at 333. And their offense, I want to say, is like their offense is insane. Okay, their offense is insane. Now, obviously, their defense is kind of a question mark. That's kind of the narrative around a lot of Big 12 teams. Their defenses are kind of just okay to bad. But TCU's offense is really good. And like you said, Sam Levitt and that Arizona State offense really hasn't done too much this year. I was expecting them to do more. So I'm riding with the Horned Frogs in this
Yeah.
one. I'm with
Uh,
you. Moving on, we have USC versus Illinois. Illinois coming off of an absolute dud to the Hoosiers. Ryan, what you got?
I have to go USC. I think Illinois just looked horrible
Mhm.
against Indiana, and I'm a big Indiana fan, and they just
Pick Indiana fan.
completely controlled that whole game. And Illinois, who I thought was going to be pretty decent in their Big Ten schedule, it looks like they're going to lose every game.
Mhm.
I don't think their offense is clicking after those hype up games, and it looks like their defense is just falling apart without an offense that can hold up. So I got to go USC.
Mhm. Brock. Brock also has USC, and I also have the Trojans, which is kind of weird. I think this is the first time we've all agreed on the first three games. USC has the highest scoring offense in the nation. TCU has a very good offense, but USC has the highest scoring offense. They are at Gaddy. Why don't you go ahead and try to guess how many points per game USC is averaging?
Uh, say 43.
Add 10 to that. They're averaging 53 points per game.
Wow.
Now they haven't really played too stiff competition. However, 53 points per
Yeah,
game is 53 points per game.
that's kind of insane.
And Illinois, quite frankly, they got embarrassed. They got called out. They got exposed.
Right.
All of the negative adjectives you could use happened to Illinois against Indiana. Um, and Brock and I look like idiots for telling you to take Illinois plus 6.5 in that game. So I will put my hand up on that one. I'm
Yeah.
sure if Brock were here, he would too. Moving on, we have Virginia Tech versus NC State.
This is a big one because
This is
I
a game of
know
all time.
Rock does not agree with me on this one. At least I don't think he did because we did have an argument about this a couple days ago. But I have to go to the Hokies. I know a lot of people saying they got embarrassed by South Carolina, but I think that South Carolina's defense just played the best game of their lives that game. And they stopped the South Carolina offense, which is what they're holding on to right now as that team. So I think the Hokies have a chance as long as their offense plays up to par because NC State did not look good against Duke. Yeah, I mean, they were scoring, but it was like slow paced.
Who
Their
won that game?
defense, Duke did. I think it was like 35 to 23.
Mhm.
And Duke, who also hasn't really looked that good, doesn't surprise me. So I think the Hokies are going to take this one.
Yeah, no, Duke is not a good team. I could tell you that right now. Um, well, I'm just pulling up the game real quick if I can find it. If not, it's not a big deal. Um, I am going to disagree with you. I'm riding with the Wolfpack. Last time the Wolfpack showed up in our games, I picked against them. I picked Virginia when they played against each other, and it was a really close game. They were going back and forth, throwing punch after punch. Their offense looked really good in that game against Virginia, and Virginia Tech lost to Old Dominion.
They did. I know.
So no disrespect to the Monarchs at Old Dominion. However, I am going to ride with the NC State Wolfpack, and let's see what Brock has. Brock also has the NC State Wolfpack. So, well, Ryan, you are our first person to
That
kind of go away
contradicts.
from
And
from the
trust me,
norm.
that is not the only time.
Good. I like it. Where is this game? I cannot find it for the life of me. Um, I guess they're just not playing this weekend. All right, moving on. We have Notre Dame versus Arkansas. Get us started, Ryan.
I think this one's where a lot of y'all are gonna say that I'm an idiot, but I'm going the Razorbacks.
Wow. Okay.
I am a Green believer. They would have beat Ole Miss if it wasn't for that fumble. They would have beat Memphis if it wasn't for the fumble on the goal line. So I think as long as they clean up mistakes, they could beat a Notre Dame team who surprisingly just doesn't have anything other than Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
I think if they can hold Jeremiah Love under like 70 yards, which might be impossible, I think they can win this game. And I think the Razorbacks have the team to do it. I believe Taylor Green is the most underrated quarterback in all of college football. So I think he will probably transfer next year to a better team. But I think they're going to take this win and be back on track for a good SEC schedule.
Well, I would have agreed with you that Taylor Green was very underrated if Arkansas won that game against Memphis.
Mhm. Mhm.
I during that game, I was thinking, man, this guy Taylor Green had it, Brock, and I have him so low in our preseason SEC quarterback rankings. And then Arkansas somehow lost that game. They were in the driver's seat the whole time.
Yeah.
Taylor Green had a few costly turnovers. But other than that, I really was a believer in Taylor Green, and I still am. I still am. I'm riding with the Fighting Irish though. I
Yeah.
pick Notre Dame. It seems like every time, and 2 out of the 3 times they failed me. But I don't think Arkansas is that strong, especially since they just choked that game against Memphis.
Right.
Notre Dame normally can hang its hat on having a solid defense. That defense was, however, exposed by Marcel Reed and the Texas A&M Aggies.
Mhm.
Um, but if they make it easy for CJ Carr, if they get Jeremiah Love going, I think the Irish will take this one. But it seems like they haven't really been getting Jeremiah Love going, as weird as that sounds, when he's the best
Yeah.
offensive player, one of the best offensive players in college football.
I mean, what I've seen is just every time he touches the ball, he has six people around him that he's trying to make miss. But I mean, it's just like you can't really do that when there's a bunch of people trying to tackle you at the same time.
That is true. Oh, can't forget about Brock's pick. Brock went with Notre Dame. So far, Brock and I are identical, and
Yeah,
you have two
I
different.
am too different.
I'm interested to see what you're going to do with this. Kind of straying, going away from the norm, Gad.
Well, there's
Let's.
three more. I think two more that I think y'all are not going to agree with me on.
Okay.
So,
We got Tennessee and Mississippi State, a Mississippi State team that is 4-0. If you told me Mississippi State was going to be 4-0 5 weeks ago,
uh,
I'd look at you like you're crazy.
I would think maybe in the end of the season, but
Yeah.
no, I got Tennessee. I think there's no chance
So
Tennessee loses another game, maybe to Bama if Bama starts going on a run. But that Tennessee team that keeps scoring, that keeps doing good things. I mean, even against a tough Georgia defense, they still drop 30 points. And I think Mississippi State looks fun to watch. I mean, Blake Shapen is tossing the ball around 300 yards a game.
Slinger.
But if you can't, at some point, they're going to tire down and slow down. And I think this is where their stopping point comes to where they start on a downfall. But I mean, they might continue through the season, but I don't think they take this game. I think Tennessee all the way.
So you think Mississippi State drops this game, but you think they'll be solid the rest of the way?
Yeah, I think they'll maybe drop like 3 or 4 games, but I think they're definitely going to get a bowl game. But they still have A&M and like Ole Miss.
The SECs are gone with.
Like they're going to be a lot of tough road ahead, but I think they can stay strong through it and probably go 8-4, 9-3.
That would be a huge win for the Bulldogs. That'd
Yeah,
be a huge win. I'm rolling with the Volunteers. I think preseason I had Mississippi State winning like 4 games, and they're already at 4. So I was, I guess, wrong about that, but I still don't think they're that strong of a team. They obviously beat Arizona State, who is a good team. Arizona State is a good team. I think they were ranked like 12 or something
yeah,
at the time.
12.
Um,
That was the first Mississippi State storm in like 20 years or something like that.
yeah,
So
but outside of that, they beat up on Southern Miss, they beat up on Alcorn State, they
yeah,
beat Northern Illinois. So I mean, they haven't
right.
really played anybody outside of Arizona State. And yes, they look good in that game, but I know I've kind of been hating on Tennessee this whole season, but they look good. They look good
Yeah,
in that game against Georgia. That game could have gone either way. Tennessee either easily could be undefeated right now. They could easily be 4-0. One thing Mississippi State does have going for them is it's in Starkville. This game is
right.
in
Yeah,
Starkville,
it's a home game, so
and home games of the SEC obviously carry a ton of weight. But I'm riding with the Volunteers, and Brock agrees with us.
yeah. I think if you tell me Mississippi State storms the field twice in one season, I might just not believe you, even if I watch it happen.
Yeah, yeah. All right, moving on. We got another SEC matchup. We have Auburn in Texas or at Texas A&M. Sorry.
I got A&M. I think it's pretty simple. Jackson Arnold did not look comfortable with that Auburn O line. He could get if he gets the ball to his receivers, they can score, but I don't think he. I think he's going to get sacked more times than not in this game. It's at A&M. The 12th man is just so hard to play under. Probably like the third hardest in college football. So I think A&M kind of handles this game. Marcel Reed does what he's supposed to and continues what he's been doing. So I think they stay undefeated.
hmm Okay, Brock. Brock has Texas A&M. He's gonna agree with you. I have the Auburn Tigers.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Last week kind of was disappointing for Auburn. They fell in Norman to the Sooners. Very questionable officiating in that game, might I add. Could have gone either way. Um, and I think Auburn wins this game, and I think they get back in the rankings in the top 25 and maybe even in the top 20 after a signature win in College Station. Jackson Arnold obviously needs to do more in the air, but on the ground, man, he's got it. They got playmakers, Eric Singleton Jr., Jeremiah Cobb, their
Yeah.
running back.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have a ton of weapons. It's just that offensive line needs to hold up. Give my boy Arnold some time, and
Yeah.
we'll be looking at a 4-1 Auburn and probably a top 20 Auburn if they can get the job done this week.
I think it'd be a close game if he doesn't get sacked 7 times.
I'm really looking forward to this game. Auburn's a stingy team. Auburn's a really stingy team. All right, moving on, we have College game day. Oregon versus Penn State. Very interesting game here. Let me read to you the last 3 games we're going to cover. Shout out to the college football scheduling makers, by the
Yeah.
way. We got Oregon, Penn State, Alabama, Georgia, and then LSU, Ole Miss. I mean, does it get any better than that?
That's just
I don't
I
think it can get better than that.
yeah, I think the schedule makers knew what they were doing with putting these games on the same weekend.
Mhm.
So for the first one, Oregon, Penn State. I don't know if y'all are going to agree with me on this one, but I'm going to go the Lions. I
The
think Penn
knitting.
State can hold Oregon. Their defense is good enough. I am not a huge Drew Aller fan. I think he is not that good, but I think he can hold up against an Oregon team who they did barely lose to last year in Oregon.
Mhm.
And this new Oregon offense does look very flashy and very true, but I think Penn State's defense is better. And I think that running back can just run all over the place against Oregon. So I think Penn State's going to win this game in Penn State. So
Yeah. Are you a believer in Dante Moore?
I like him. I think he's going to slow down at some point when he starts playing his Big Ten opponents. But
Mhm.
I think he's going to be good for years to come. Not like maybe not this year, but maybe next year, the year after.
Yeah, I mean, he's got great stats. I'm gonna read who broadcast Oregon, as you know, if you're a devoted Big Easy Blitz listener. Brock cannot stand Penn State.
No.
He just simply can't stand Penn State. So I'm assuming there's some bias going into that. But also, I genuinely think that he doesn't think that they're that strong. So Brock has Oregon in this game, but I am going to agree with the guest picker.
Wow.
I got Penn State. I think the game being in Happy Valley is literally going to decide this game.
Right.
Dante Moore's electric. I think the whole Oregon team is electric. Penn State, I think, is going to slow the game down. Yeah, I know James Franklin has a terrible rep against top teams.
No.
Uh, and I'm like you, I'm not the biggest Drew Aller fan. I just think they're going to slow the game down. They got a solid defense. Um, and yeah, I'm rolling with the Nittany Lions. Drew Aller's stats through 3 weeks are not good, and they haven't even played anybody. But I think they're going to slow the game down, and it's a whiteout in Penn State. I think it's just going to be a lot for Dante Moore and the
Yeah,
Oregon
I think his
Ducks.
first time in Penn State, it's going to be a lot.
Yeah,
So I don't think he's going to be able to handle it. But I think it's going to be a very close
I
game.
can't
But
wait to watch.
second half, I think Penn State's defense and Penn State's fans are going to start getting into the game and getting into Dante Moore's head.
From a pure aesthetic, I think this is the best game of the year. Think about it. Oregon has arguably the best uniforms in the country, and
Yeah.
then you got the whiteout on top of it.
Yeah.
I don't think it
Uh,
gets much better than that, man.
I guess not, but I mean, I think like with everything that's going on, it probably is, but it might turn into something like a blowout by either team. Because I mean, like at this point, I don't think either team can do whatever they want. Like I don't know
The
enough
line
about
is Penn
each.
State 3.5, so it's really close.
I feel like if Dante Moore starts struggling, Penn State's going to blow out Oregon, but if he thrives, Oregon's going to blow out Penn State. So I mean,
Yeah.
like or it could be a close game. Like there's really no in between with this game, but I think that's what the fun about watching it is.
Yeah. Um, the thing is with Penn State, they don't like to have the explosive plays. I mean,
Yeah.
just telling from Drew Aller's stats, I mean, he only has 600 yards through 3 games.
Hmm.
If Oregon jumps on Penn State early, man, suck
Yeah,
the
it
life out of
could.
Happy Valley. It could wind up in a blowout, but I am not expecting that to happen. I'm
Yeah.
expecting a close game with Penn State to come out on top.
Right.
Moving on to the final two games, two LSU, two games full of blue blood football programs.
Right.
Second to last game we're covering is the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Georgia Bulldogs. Gaddy, where are you going?
I got to go with the dogs. I don't think Alabama is really going to live up to anything this year. I think this is the start of the downfall of Alabama, which I hate to say because I hate them, but I love when LSU plays them and they're a better team and we're like the underdog
Yeah.
and all of that. I
Mhm.
love that. And I love beating them like that. But watching them play Florida State and then watching them struggle, not really against ULM, but last week a little bit in the beginning, I didn't like how Ty Simpson was, but I guess now they're moving on from him, I hope. But we'll see what happens against Georgia. And Georgia's defense is just always going to be good. I think Kirby Smart's just always going to hold Georgia that defensive standard of top in the nation.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Is it in Alabama or is it in
It's
Georgia?
in Georgia,
Yeah, I think that's
in
also another
Athens.
factor. Gunnar Stockton, not really a big fan, but I think he can at least handle the game to what he wants, and they're going to win this game probably by a commanding 10 to 15 point lead.
Hmm. Um, so let's see. Brock also has Georgia, I'm sure for a lot of the reasons you mentioned.
Right.
Um, you know, this is going to be a good game. I think Georgia will dominate this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I feel like Georgia will dominate it. The line is only Georgia 2.5, which I thought was kind of too close. Now I guess it's because it's Alabama and just
You
the
never
name
count them out. You
Alabama.
never count them out.
Exactly, and then there's a ton of playmakers on both sides of the ball here. Um, I mean, you got Zachariah Branch, and then
Yeah.
obviously Gunnar Stockton for the Georgia Bulldogs, and you got Ryan Williams, Ty Simpson, Jeremy Bernard for the Crimson Tide. Georgia's defense, obviously, like you said, Kirby Smart's going to pretty much make sure they're a solid unit, top in the country. But Joey Aguilar and the Tennessee Volunteers kind of exposed that a
Yeah,
little bit.
they
Um,
did.
and Alabama definitely can too. If Joey Aguilar and the Tennessee Volunteers can, I really do think with the playmakers Alabama has, I think they could also do that.
Mm.
But I don't think they will.
No.
They could, but I don't think they will. Give me
Yeah.
the Georgia Bulldogs. Also, I just don't like Alabama. I'm not the biggest fan of Georgia, but I can't stand Alabama.
Right.
Um,
It's a
so
little.
I take Georgia, and I take Georgia minus 2.5.
Yeah, I think you were right that Tennessee did expose them, but I think Tennessee has a way better offense than Alabama does.
Really?
Alabama
Okay.
really, I think if you take Ryan Williams out of the equation at Alabama, then I don't know what they would have to offer.
Well, I'd actually disagree with you on that. I think they'd be okay with Ron Williams. I mean, he's a great playmaker, but
Yeah,
um, they just have so much talent. I mean,
right.
at Alabama, they just have so much talent. They bring in from the transfer portal.
All the time.
Um,
Every year, Alabama, just the name, brings in
yeah,
4 and 5 stars.
exactly, exactly. Now, some would argue down here in Baton Rouge that this is the game of the week: LSU versus Ole Miss.
Yeah,
This is by far the toughest task for the LSU Tigers,
mhm.
and man, does Ole Miss look good.
They do.
LSU's got to wake up, though. Gaddy, where you going? The game's in Oxford, by the
I
way.
think it's obvious. I think LSU handles this game. I think Ole Miss has shown like they beat Arkansas, they beat Tulane, but Tulane who couldn't hold them at all, who
They
couldn't
beat the
stop them.
crap out of Tulane.
Tulane who like couldn't move the ball past the 50-yard line for half the game. I don't think Tulane showed who they like what an offense could do. Now, Arkansas did, but I think LSU's defense is we're back to being DBU.
Oh, I love
We're
it.
back to
We are.
Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson era. We're back to being a defensive team that can win games. We don't need an offense at this point. And it'd be nice to have one again in this game, but I think with Ole Miss already leaving the way of Austin Simmons and starting that new guy and looking good against Tulane, I don't think I would trust them to do anything this game. I think this guy's going to make a lot of mistakes. It is in Oxford, and I do believe that we're going to be a lot of people are going to pick Ole Miss, but I
Mhm.
think LSU's offense woke up last week. I know it was against Southeastern, but that's the point of those games is to get your offense flowing, do plays that you don't normally do, and get everybody to score a touchdown and get them hyped up for a
Mhm.
week that's probably going to be
A
hard.
tune-up game.
Right. And I think LSU's offense is going to wake up this week, and I think we're going to handle this game pretty easily.
Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, Brock has LSU in this game, as it comes to a very big shock to everybody that Brock has LSU in this game.
Yeah.
Um, I tell you what, if LSU's offense doesn't wake up, they're going to be in trouble.
It's gonna be a long season.
They're going to be in trouble not only in this game, but also for the long haul. I mean, it's a long season, but
Mhm.
if they don't wake up soon, it could get ugly. But LSU's defense is they might be the best in the nation. Definitely top five.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, talk about the defensive backs. You got AJ Halsey, Mansour Delane, Tamarcus Cooley, um, Deshaun Spears. Like I could keep going and going and going and going
Yeah,
with
you're
these guys.
naming people that everybody's gonna know. for years.
Yeah. And then I mean on the D line you got Jacoby and Guillory. And then obviously the linebackers, probably the best linebacking core in the nation with Whit Weeks and Harold
Hmm.
Perkins. Um, I was torn between this game. I was freaking torn. Obviously, where is it? Obviously, I go to LSU. Uh, but damn did Ole Miss's offense look
It
good
did. It did.
with Trinidad Chambliss behind center, man. I'm torn. I'm still torn with this game. But damn it, you can't pick against your hometown team.
Like,
You can't pick against your hometown team. Give me the Tigers. I'm picking LSU until they lose one. Until
yeah.
they give me a reason. I mean, obviously their offenses look slow, but until they lose a game, I'm not picking against them. I was really leaning Ole Miss up until this. I literally had Ole Miss circled in my book right here, but I can't pick against the hometown team. I've done that before and I've learned my lesson. Give me the Tigers, man. This is going to be an electric week,
Yeah,
man. I
I
cannot wait.
can't wait to watch that game. It's gonna suck afterwards if we do lose, and I'm gonna hate it. But I think the same thing was last year. Ole Miss's offense, LSU's defense is horrible, and our defense held them to 20 points before they
Mm-hmm.
went into overtime, or to 23 points, and then we closed it out with our offense. I know
Shout out
Nussmeier
Kyron Lacey.
probably had 50 attempts in that game, but we didn't have a run offense. But now it's looking like our run offense can happen. It just needs to find its way. And I mean, our passing attack is still there. It's still there. We have most of the same people from last year, minus like our O line and maybe a couple other
Kyron Lacey
players, Kyron
hardly.
Lacey. But I think Ole Miss is just not going to keep up. Like this new Ole Miss look, who they've lost almost everybody, they're not going to be able to keep up. I think LSU is going to handle this game 9 times out of 10, and I know it's gonna be close, but I believe in the boys, and I believe in our defensive backs. I think Mansour Delane's gonna win the what's the award? The Butt Kiss Award.
I don't remember what it's called. I know the
Um,
offensive one's the Bolitnikov for the
yeah,
receivers. I don't remember what the defensive one's called.
and I think like the rest of our defense, Whit Weeks started getting in the minds of Ole Miss fans.
Now look, you could be looking.
You
You
could be
could.
looking. They all say it from the other
Yeah,
direction, but
Ole
I'm
Miss could be
saying
getting in the head of Weeks.
I don't think that's happening because I think Whit Weeks. I think he knows the reason why he's doing what he's
I
doing.
think it's just something fun outside of football.
I know, but I think we're gonna handle business this weekend. I don't know if we have West Weeks back, and I don't know if we have Trades back,
West
but
Weeks is probable, so he'll probably play.
yeah, and
Uh,
Trades probably not, but still, I mean, we still have so many weapons on offense, and Jawan Johnson, who had 2 touchdowns last week, I think
yeah,
he's gonna do something good this
Caden
game.
Durham's questionable too.
Yeah, I did.
So if Caden Durham's out, it's not. It's not like the biggest blow for LSU because they do have Jawan Johnson. We'll be seeing a lot of Jawan Johnson if Caleb Williams, Kane Durham
Yeah,
does not play.
and also Caleb Jackson and Harlem Berry
Sure, yeah, we'll
back
be
there.
seeing
I
more
mean,
Harlem Berry
we
game.
have depth on this team, and I think we can
I
further win this game.
I wish I had that confidence, man. I really think Ole Miss is rock solid this year.
Hmm.
Their offense, led by I mean Lane Kiffin, like it's going to be a very fun game to watch. I'm scared though. As an LSU fan, I'm scared. Ole
Yeah,
Miss is really good. I'm not naive to that.
I think it's gonna be the most watched game this weekend. I
Really?
don't think Alabama
Wow.
Georgia is gonna be watched. I
What about Penn
think
State, Oregon?
I think a lot of people are gonna start watching it and they're gonna realize one team or it's gonna be a boring game.
Yeah, you're looking at like a 10-7 game at halftime.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think Ole Miss LSU is gonna be like 20-20 at halftime,
Yeah.
and one team's gonna take over. I think this game, everybody's gonna be sitting at their house at night and just be like, "What should we watch?" And then they'll look at Alabama Georgia, see Georgia's destroying Alabama, or the other way around,
Yeah.
and just switch over to Ole Miss LSU. And I think the whole country's gonna be watching this game.
Yeah.
Should have been game day, but I'll let it go with number 2 versus number 6.
LSU's got to get the run game going because they can't just rely on Nussmeier. I mean,
Mhm.
I sound like a broken record saying this. I say this week in and week out. We saw it last year when they had to rely on Nussmeier. Too much bad things happened. Texas A&M game is a
Yep.
prime example. Um, they have to get the run game going, whether it's with Caden Durham or not. I don't care. They have to get it going against Ole Miss. And then with that, obviously, it opens up the passing game. You have to establish the run if you're LSU, and if you don't, then you're in big trouble. I'm
Right.
gonna leave y'all with that. Go Tigers till I die, though.
Yeah, go Tigers.
That's all I got. Anything else you want to say before we head out?
Brian Kelly said it best. I know our 2 wins don't look that good now, but a win is a win, a hard fought victory against an SEC team and an ACC team who was ranked high. I think we're gonna look good this year, and we can't wait to see.
I
Can't
can't
wait to
wait.
watch these games. All of them, honestly, all of them are good.
Yeah. All right. Well, that does it here. We miss Brock. He'll be back for Monday's episode. Hopefully, after LSU gets their fifth win of the season. But tell a friend, like, follow, subscribe, all socials. That is Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And we will see you on Monday. Peace.